Hello everyone. We are talking about the Frayer model. You probably know what it is, but do you know how to use it? We are going to practice using the Frayer model with a vocabulary word that you are probably familiar with. Okay, let's try to complete a Frayer model together. This is our Frayer model. We will zoom in to the vocabulary word, and the first thing we do is ask, what is the word you are trying to learn? And we will write that in the center. For this video, the word we are going to practice using the Frayer model with is the word cat. Okay, so let's see how this works with a word that we probably already know. Let's go over here to the definition. Remember, this is an ask, think, and connect process. First, we ask, what does the word in the center mean? And we might come up with an idea in our minds of what that is. Next, we'll think about that word and that idea, and we will write the word meaning in our own words. Do not copy it out of a dictionary. Do not copy what somebody else wrote. Think of your own definition for the word. So, for this word, I came up with a four-legged animal with fur, often kept as a pet. And next, we connect. Connect the definition to words we already know in any language. Some of these words might be English words that are connected to the vocabulary word cat, like the word feline, or it could be a translation of the word in another language, as I have down below. I have a French and Spanish example. Okay, after we've done our definition, we can write that there. Animal with four legs, often kept as a pet, and I have the translation. Now we'll come over here to characteristics. Ask, think, and connect. First, we ask, what is specific and unique to a cat? And I'll come up with this picture in my mind. Let's see, I might think about the fur, the feet, the fact that they often land on their feet, their pointy ears. Now we're going to think about all of that so we can write it down. Think about all the features of your word that make it unique. Write them here. Fur, pet, flexible, pointy ears. And we're going to connect that to any relevant words, idioms, proverbs, expressions, anything we can think of in any language. Again, it doesn't just have to be English. If you speak more than just English, other languages than English, you have more words, examples, phrases to think of that will help you out. So I'm going to give you two examples in English. This is a proverb. When the cat's away, the mice will play. Well, what does that tell me? It reminds me that cats like to eat mice. So down here, I wrote eats mice. But then as I think about it, I might remember, hold on, they also eat fish. So an animal that eats other animals and does not eat plants, we would call them a carnivore. So I will cross out eats mice and I will replace it with a better word, carnivore. Okay, very good. Now we connect the new word to any relevant words or idioms we can think of in any other language. We're going to do this process again. And another one I came up with was fight like cats and dogs. And that reminds me that cats and dogs fight a lot. So I'm going to add that to the bottom, does not like dogs. So because of those characteristics, we thought about it, we connected it to anything else that we knew, any other expressions that we knew, and we came up with two more characteristics to make it better. All right, very good. So we have our definition, and we have our characteristics. All right, moving down to examples. Sometimes we think the examples and non examples will be very easy, and it can be, but we have to remember that we connect these examples and non examples to what we have already written, to the definition and characteristics to make it even better and more specific. Remember, the Frayer model is an iterative process. You go back and forth among steps. So let's see how that works. First, we ask, what are some examples of your word? And I'm going to have a couple images that come to my mind. I'll think about it some more. Think of as many examples of your word as you can from the US or elsewhere. Let's see. Okay, I've got this image in my mind of a cat sleeping, and I will connect that. If I think about the cat sleeping, that might have to change my definition or characteristics. And that comes in the connect process. We connect the example to definition or characteristics and ask ourselves, can they be improved? And I remember cats like to sleep. They're active in the mornings and in the evenings. And there is a really nice word for that. It is crepuscular. So I will come over here to characteristics and I will add that down below. Okay, let's do this again. We want to come up with as many examples as we can, so let's keep going. Here's a picture of a cat that comes to mind. This one looks like she just jumped down from something high up. They say cats always land on their feet. And so that reminds me, cats are flexible and often land on their feet. We're going to come over here to our characteristics and let's make sure we have something about that in our characteristics before we move on to the next example. Yep, there we go. We have the word flexible. So we're set on that. Let's think about some more examples. Okay, now I've got a tiger. That kind of changes things. A lion. This is also a little bit different from my other examples. And a jaguar. Okay, so now we have to connect this. Connect our examples to the definition or characteristics. Can they be improved? Well, let's see. Let's take a look at our definition. Animal with four legs, often kept as a pet. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone who has a tiger, a lion, or a jaguar as a pet. So I'm going to change that. Animal with four legs may be small and a pet, or large, ferocious, and wild. Now I know that they don't have to be a pet, they don't have to be small and a pet, but this definition is much better. And I have my examples listed. We can have a tabby cat, calico, a tiger, a lion, a jaguar. Okay, and now let's move over to our non-examples, where we will do the similar process as we did with examples and ask, what are not examples of our word? Okay, a car is definitely not a cat. It's not even alive. So that reminds us a cat is a living thing. We have to make sure we have that. A tree is a living thing, but it's not an animal, right? And we do have animal in our definition. That's good. A snake is an animal. It doesn't have fur or four legs, but these are all non examples. Now remember, the best learning from the non examples come from the non examples that are opposites of our word or are similar to our word but still different. So let's take a look at what might be similar to a cat but still different. An elephant's not quite that similar, but it is a mammal. It has four legs. It's large and wild. It would not be kept as a pet though. But I think a dog is very similar. Four legs, fur, kept as a pet, or it could be wild. And so a dog might be a really good non example. And that reminds us we want to make sure that our definition is as specific as it can be. And that goes in the connect piece of it all. Connect the non examples to the definition or characteristics and ask, can they be improved? Can we make our definition and characteristics even better? So let's take a look. Okay, in the definition area, we crossed off animal because we want to be more specific. We'll replace it with the word mammal. Mammal with four legs may be small and a pet or large, ferocious, and wild. And I also added the word feline to remind us it is a cat, it is not a dog. And our non examples car, tree, snake, elephant, and dog. And that is how the Frayer model works. To complete the Frayer model, we ask, think, and connect. And we remember it is an iterative process. Well, I hope this video helps you to understand the Frayer model just a little bit better, and I hope you now see why it is such a powerful learning strategy. I wish you the best of luck. Happy learning.